Good afternoon, and what is a warm, bright and sunny day. It is Tuesday the 20th of August, and I've got a nice hot cup of tea and a box to continue unboxing. And what I've got in here is a copy of Howl of the Wild for Pathfinder 2. So, a wild adventure. Join a curious naturalist and his eccentric crew crossing continents in their fantastic airship, cataloging the world's most fantastic creatures. Along the expedition, the players will find new character options to bring their wildest characters to life, from new ancestries like the strong Minotaur or the magical merfolk, to awesome spells and ferocious archetypes, to new animal companions and gear forged from the scales and fangs of mythical beasts. GMs can look forward to a veritable menagerie to unleash on their players, containing animals, expansions on classic monsters, and never-before-seen creatures from every corner of the Age of Lost Nomads campaign setting. Okay, so we have map of the world on the inside cover, and it's also on the inside pack cover, and in between we've got the actual kind of colour cover there, and then we are into, just trying to open the pages because it's fine paper. We have the credits and table of contents, and we start off with my quest. Well, I think that's my quest for something or other. I'm not quite sure what that says. Let's have a look. My quest for the Wardens, that's it. Sorry, with the handwriting there, it's not particularly easy to read. But this introduces the supplement with a bit of colour fiction, setting things up with the Zoetrope and its crew, essentially the airship that will go on a voyage similar to that of the HMS Beagle, looking for and cataloguing various animals from from across the world, beginning with new ancestries, so including centaur, merfolk, awakened animal, minotaur, and so on. So you've got a handful of those. Special rules to apply to them, such as large player characters, riding player characters, flying player characters, and notable NPCs described here. Given nice write-ups, and basically a couple of nice images as well. So this enables, basically to bring in a range of ancestries, including sort of like anthropomorphic species, or ancestries, I should say. So some of these are familiar, so this one isn't. But it is given essentially physical descriptions, society, beliefs, and so on, and possible heritages. All the way up to 17th level. Then we have the awakened animal, and that's going to be like cover quite a lot of different types of animals. But we've seen bear and badger, sort of birds and so on, and these can all be individualized according to different ancestries. Then we have centaur, merfolk. Some really quite nice illustrations. And even a submarine chair. Let's see whatever that's for. I will find out more detail when I get to do a proper review. Minotaur. Showcasing here, for example, they're not just sort of like the creatures you hear of in Greek myth, but they can be. And the strange insect-like Circe, again, that's new. And then we've got a nice kind of montage of the Zoetrope's voyages, which sets everything up for the next section, techniques and tricks. And we've got a catfolk there in full combat. So we have things like untamed morphs and warden spells and ranger options. This expands upon those that given in the player call 2. Witches of the Wild. So these are new options for your play characters and NPCs. Zoophonic Bards, new variant kind of class, archetype, Beastmaster, perfect for this supplement, in fact. Claw Dancer, kind of good for your any beast with claws, I suppose. And then Ostily Host, another archetype. I mean, that's for the, is that for the Circe? Swarm Keeper. Ooh, that's a variant, I suppose, a druid-like variant. So you're keeping bees or wasps or that sort of thing. Another Lupit Contestant. There's some quite interesting options here that you don't necessarily spring to mind. So there's a bit of invention and here that will surprise you. I think that's a good thing. Weird Creature as an archetype. Wild Mimic as an archetype. Winged Warrior. So if you're playing sort of like any manner of bird-like creatures, so for like Kenku. And then we're on to the spells for your various player characters, spellcasting characters. Actually, not very many of them, but, you know, worthy additions all the same. And then we have services and supplies, some of the things that you will need on your voyages. And there's the Zoetrope, sort of like settling into land on the sea. And this includes animal companions, such as the elk or kangaroo, and even advanced companions like the giant eel, the hippocampus, and the umbrella mushroom, and even a killer whale. And then crafts, sorry, not crafts, but graphs. So enhancing your characters with things like bioluminescent stripes or bristling spines, a whip tail. Quite fun if you're going to run, if you're running a kind of Island of Dr. Moreau scenario, I suppose. But there's a lot of other options for them as well. Beast armor and armament, so you can equip your beasts. We've got a couple of weapons, Fulmination Fang, Laidroth Spellbreaker, and Nightmare's Lament, sort of like firearm type devices there. More alchemical items. And more adventuring gear So there we go. Let's just show you that. So useful here, atmospheric breathing suit for when you're underwater or in situations where there's no air. Catch poles for catching animals, and animal blinds for hiding in. Big game siege weapons for taking down monstrous beasts. Spell catalysts. And then we're on to Galarian's Menagerie. And this takes up probably a good, slightly less than the whole of the book, but you've got a section on creature adjustments. Before we're into the beasts, we're starting with the Almirage and the Apothecary bee. The Royal Basilisk. We've got a nice cutaway of the skull there, the eye of the basilisk. So monster upon monster, creature upon creature, really taking up the rest of the book, but with some really nice cutaways. So we've got the here we have the Impossible Chimera, just sort of like anatomical drawings there. And it's actually followed by the section on the Chimera itself. We've got new dinosaurs. And even elemental bird Chaos Falcon. With a dissection of its feathers. And then ethereal wildlife. So there's some really fantastic and wild and weird creatures here. But also quite normal ones like fish. And then we have Griffin Ascendant with different heads. The Hardhead Mole. And we have, flip the page here, on the history and behaviours of the Hydra. So these are really ecological pieces about the different species, and then we've got the stats and details of the beasts themselves in game format. And this basically carries on throughout. So the cultural and natural phenomena of manticores, and then that's followed by the actual write-up of the manticore, and so on, all the way down to unicorn. It does the same thing for various were creatures, including new creature lycanthropes. We have a weir moose, a weir shark. Some great artwork there. And then we're into more sort of colour fiction of Dark Knight and the journey taken by the Zoetrope. And then we found them at last. We get to the Warden Caverns and Burrows. So, yeah, more burrowing and strange beasts. These are going to be the mighty beasts of detailed and supplements. So the Wardens. So each of these is given sort of like a journal-like write-up preceding the game stats. And then the journey's conclusion. We've got an ability glossary, list of the creatures by level, and a glossary and index, which is always handy, you know, because it's explaining what you're looking for. And then we've got deck plans for the Zoetrope there before we've got the credits page. And then notes sort of like we've got the Orc rather than OGL license at the end there. And I have that for the player core at the back. So that is Howl of the Wild for Pathfinder 2, published by Paizo Inc. If you enjoyed this unboxing in the Nook, then please do click on the like button down below. And of course, if you've got any comments or feedback, I do appreciate you taking the time to post those. And lastly, if you want to be alerted to get more unboxings in the Nook, where you'll see me out here with a box containing a book or game, or in this case, a role-playing supplement for the Pathfinder 2 role-playing game, which I will unbox and chat about to the best extent of my knowledge for roughly 10 minutes or so, all of course accompanied by a nice hot cup of tea, then please do click on the subscribe button down below. Thanks again for watching another unboxing in the Nook, and we'll be back again soon with another one. Bye for now.